Okay, hello friends, welcome to BISP Solutions. Myself Ashwin, and BISP Solutions is a tech company provide technological solutions across the world. Now in this, today is our day 9 in our business analysis case study. Now yesterday we have seen what is an ERP, right? What is an ERP? Yesterday we have studied. So today we are going to see the NetSuite end-to-end implementation. Okay. Now so this is our day 9 and we are going to see today what happens in NetSuite end-to-end implementation. So basically it's an ERP, and today we are going to see how this complete process takes place and what a BA business analyst role will be there, right? So first of all I will explain you the complete process of NetSuite end-to-end implementation. Okay, so let's come here. So what is an ERP implementation lifecycle? Here we are going to see the complete implementation of lifecycle of an ERP. Now see, in this ERP it's a step-by-step journey of introducing ERP into a business. First of all let me explain you. ERP stands for, as we have studied yesterday, enterprise resource planning. Okay, now in this just assume a scenario. First of all let's see the business scenario. A company that is a very high level company or large scale industry or manufacturing company or retail company, like furniture selling company. Let's take that example, furniture selling company, and now they have been using their traditional software for the last 10 years. Now they are having subsidiaries in different cities, or sorry, countries. So definitely they need such a system which is, number one, it should be cloud based, and secondly, all the reportings should be generated in one place, and that should include all the sales done in every country. So they need such a system. Now here the ERP system, cloud based ERP system, Oracle NetSuite comes into picture. Okay, now this when this ERP system comes into picture, first of all we have to see exactly what is this. Yesterday let's have a quick recap of yesterday's session. In a company all the departments are there, like order to cash, purchase to procure, different departments, inventory department, all these are digitized in one package that is called NetSuite. Now in this one application it's a very mature product. Okay, now more than 32,000 customers are there, right? Now see, so we have to implement step by step NetSuite in the business, because before this the company or the client employees, they never know what how the NetSuite works, right? So first of all we have to arrange the meetings with them, and then we have to show them step by step exactly how it looks like, then how it works, right? So from requirement gathering to go live and post support, it's a complete process in itself. So that is called implementation of ERP. Now this cycle ensures the system fits the business process. First of all, the very first task is take their requirement and compare it with the process given in the NetSuite. Okay, so you have to first make sure whether the requirements are fulfilled from that NetSuite, and second, the biggest task, this is data migration. Migrating the historical data into NetSuite is the challenging task, right? Then the third part is, suppose you have done everything, but now the users, what about the users? Because in a company, right, in a company or in an industry, hardly 40-50% employees are there, those who know technology, or those who are good in adapting themselves, or those who can change themselves. But hardly 50% employees, those who are habitual with Excel sheet, or those who are overaged employees. So you have to train them according to their knowledge base. You have to train them very carefully, and then you have to monitor their system post launch. For example, you have done everything correctly, but after launching or after go live, you have to take care of that, whether the employees are executing or doing the process properly or not, right? So these are the four different parts. So you have to be very careful. First take the requirement and then show them the, okay, your these requirements can be fulfilled in NetSuite and this is the process. Okay. Secondly, migrate their data. First do the customization and then migrate the data. Then you have to train the user that how you are going to use, because the user interface of the NetSuite is a little different than whatever they are used to with for the last 20 years. And then monitor their system post launch, right? So these are the four different challenging tasks. Now phases of NetSuite implementation. Let's take different phases. Now see here, the life cycle typically includes 7 key phases. One is discovery and requirement. Now first of all, discovery and requirement, that means first meeting I will have with the client and I will discover all their requirements and all their pain points, exactly where they are facing the issues. Okay, so this is called the discovery and the requirement phase. In this several meetings are done. In one of my project, when I was working on a project, I have been the part of that since beginning to end. So I have seen that initial 2 months are spent in only discovery and requirement only, right? It's a little time consuming, because in each meeting something new is discovered. So once the discovery once the requirements are taken out, then they see the implementation team, they analyze the requirement, exactly what they have given and how we can make. For now, suppose the business analyst, now let's take a business analyst point of view. Business analyst will communicate with them. The business analyst will note down whatever they want, exactly what the current process is, and after coming from their meeting, the business analyst will then communicate with the team. Which team? The technical and functional both. The functional team will check whether this functionality is already given there. So this is the second point come into picture, right? Let me use this pen. Okay, so this is the second point that come into picture. Design and gap analysis. Now design and gap analysis means, suppose they have explained, the business analyst, that this is our order to cash, this is our purchase to procure, this is pricing, and this is return material authorization, everything. Now the business analyst will come and communicate with the team, and the team will say, okay, this completely works according to the requirement. Now here gap analysis means where is the gap? So they are using approval routing. Let's take an example of approval routing, or they are doing they want some special type of reports which are highly customized. So that is called gap analysis. This is not given, so the technical and functional team will decide that, okay, we will prepare the saved searches for them. Okay, so that is called gap analysis. Now the third part come into picture. Now once the once the client has purchased the instance of NetSuite, so the sandbox and production instance is given. Okay, just discard, just a second. Now what happens, let me make it zoom. Okay, now see here. Okay, so sandbox and production. So sandbox and production instance are given to the client. So we have to make the configuration and customization according to the client, right? And this is what we are doing in the sandbox only, not in the production. Okay, so right now production, let's keep production little aside. Okay, now whatever we are going to do, everything in the sandbox. So this is the third phase, that configuration and customization. And every time whatever we have done, like in after this second phase also, the business analyst will communicate with the client that, okay, this is what we have done, This is the gap analysis what we are going to do for creating your this customized report. We will prepare some saved search, then he will show the example of saved search, that how we are going to prepare. Then configuration and customization. Now we have to configure the NetSuite. Okay, so we have to configure the NetSuite, and there are some facilities of configuring, like inserting the details of the company, inserting the details of the subsidiary, then the currency details. Everything will be done in the NetSuite, right? That comes under the part of configuration. And customization means, for example, they have demanded some special customized reports, so we have to do the customization. Suppose the client has asked that we are having 15 sales rep of different territories. Now 15 sales rep of different territories, so definitely 15 different type of forms are also required, so we have to do this customization. Some few departments are there which are a little different, like internship department, so we have to create some custom records also. So these are things are done in the configuration and customization. Now once the customization is done, so data migration. Now this is most important, data migration. Okay, so data migration. So in this, what happens, we will first take the data in the format of CSV, right? First we will demand the complete data. First of all, see, data migration is in the secondary part. First is configuration. When at the time of configuration only we have to demand the metadata, like customers data, vendors data, the item information, the subsidiary information, the chart of account information, everything, pricing information, everything. That is the first part. Then data migration means, suppose if we they say that okay, transfer our historical data of last 2 years, that is the transaction data, sales order, invoice, everything, into this new system. So how will you do that? So you have to do it. So first of all, you have to demand the sales order data, the invoice records, everything, and then upload them into the NetSuite, right? And after that, adjust the balance, whatever, and then make. Now this data migration also is a time consuming task, right? So it takes near about that depends on the volume of the data. If the data is too much high, it will take 2 to 3 months also, right? So that I'm not saying that the data migration is done within the 3 or 4 months. It depends on the volume of the data, whatever the volume of the data is there. I have seen the duration of data migration in one of my project, that is 7 months, and in one of my project I have seen the data migration time takes 8 to 9 months also. That depends on the, because when the team works offshore, on-site team, so it's a time consuming task. Okay, so data migration is a time taking task. Then we see here the testing and validation. Now again, the testing and validation is another task. Now how this testing and validation is done, see, testing and validation means it works in 2-3 stages. First of all, whatever you have migrated, you have to first test that data, that whether your data is uploading properly, and after uploading the data, you have to validate that data. For example, let's give me an example, like in legacy system, right, and in target, that is NS. In legacy system, June 2024 sales are like 24, like 2 million. Okay, $2 million. So similarly in NetSuite also, after the migration of data, it should show in the June 2024 the sales should be $2 million. So in this way, let's make it as $2 million. Okay, 2 million. Okay. So similarly in the target system also, in the target NetSuite, it should show the same data. That means the balance should be matched, right? Otherwise it will not be considered as proper validation or testing, because whatever you have imported, that should be exactly matched, same to same. So this testing validation is first of all done by the implementation team, right? Just give me a second. let me check. Okay. Fine. That's fine. Now see here. Here you will see the discovery and the requirement. Okay, testing and validation. So first of all, it will be done by the implementation team. Okay, then after this implementation team, it will be checked by the client also. You have to test the data and validate the data, and you have to make them understand, or you have to convince them, okay, this is how the validation is done. Now it can be done on different criteria. For example, month wise sales should be matched. Then the sales rep should be matched. Okay, then the quarter wise item wise sale so there are different criteria. They will do one more thing. They will ask you to prepare the balance sheet of the particular quarter, and then they will match their balance sheet with them. So there are different criteria. They will, until they are convinced, we can't go into the training and UAT session. Okay, so you have to first make them completely satisfied that okay, whatever is migrated, that is absolutely perfect, and testing. So this is also testing and validation. So you have to do it with your all the team, and same again, business analyst will be the part of all these phases, right? Business analyst will be the part of discovery and requirement also. Business analyst will be the part of design and gap analysis, because ultimately the business analyst will communicate with the client. Okay, then configuration customization, business analyst will not directly involve in with the team, but the team will inform the business analyst, or team will update the business analyst, okay, what you are going to convey. Then after this, suppose let's take an example, like after 7 to 8 months everything is done, right? 8 to 9 months, the minimum project is near about 1 year long. So this testing and validation is done. Now the thing comes on training and UAT. Now in this training and UAT part, see what will happen in this training and UAT. So testing and validation is done from our team side. Okay, validation is done. Now this part comes UAT. Training is the next part, but first UAT, user acceptance testing. First of all, you have to show them, and then you have to provide them first training, and then let's see whether they are accepting the current process, right? So UAT and training, they have to accept that okay, this is what the procedure will work, and then provide them the training. Then okay, now this is how you have to follow the stepwise. For example, those who are in legacy system, what happened, the sales rep used to fill the data in the Excel sheet, and then at the end of the day the Excel sheet will be uploaded. But here the sales rep has to open the NetSuite with his credentials, and then the sales rep will insert the data using the form. So the sales rep should be satisfied, he should be well trained to use that. So you have to provide the training first, then, right? And then once he said okay, now he is ready to work, after that, now the data is migrated to production part, right? Here one more point I will add here, right? Production instance. Okay, so this production instance, right, this production instance will be there. So we have to move everything in production instance, and after that go live. That is called the go live. Once everything is done in production instance, then you have to then the go live will be declared. After that, the client will now insert the data in both the application, that is the legacy also and in NetSuite also. Now in this NetSuite, what will happen, they will check, for example, like whatever the impact shown during the legacy system and the NetSuite, they should be equal. Okay. And for example, the some sales orders are created, so immediately whatever the inventory is deducted, same thing, it should match with the NetSuite also and in the legacy system, right? So that is called post to go live support, because it happens many times. Once the things are go live, after go live, there are so many issues created by the not created, so many issues arises at the time of using of this newly implemented ERP, because there is a chance that the user, those who are using NetSuite, they might resist, or um, uh, they might not insert the data properly. So you have to make sure that okay, this is how it works, and now you enter. So after 2 months, 3 months, once the employee of the client side, they become habitual, then only the team will say okay, and then the project will be closed. Otherwise, until the client of the client employees, until they become habitual, you have to provide them support. That is called the post go live support. Okay. So this is called post to go live support. So finally we have seen here today, right now, this discovery and requirement. Now let's talk about the BA role. The business analyst will be the part of all this, since from first point to last point, right? So the business analyst will give the training to the user, or business analyst will first conduct the meeting, that is called conference room pilot. In that, what happens, all these SME and the stakeholders, along with your offshore, on-site, technical, functional team, all are connected, and then they will ask, for example, the CEO of the client will ask one of their sales rep, okay, fill one sales order, and then move ahead, item fulfillment, and then the pick, pack, ship, and then he will ask to the warehouse manager, now see the impact on the warehouse. At the same time, he will ask the AP and ER consultant or the accountant, see the impact on, that is the GL impact on accounts receivable accounts and the accounts payable accounts. At the same time, the inventory will also be monitored, and at the same time, one consultant will see the impact on balance sheet journal entries, whether the journal entries are done properly or not. So all these things are done parallelly by so many people, and once everyone say okay, right, then only that conference room pilot will be successfully finished. So it's a very important task of conference room pilot, that means UAT testing, right? And BA, and if anything goes wrong, then business analyst will be held responsible for that. Normally it is not like they will blame the business analyst. Actually, the business analyst will be informed that this is what we want and this is not according to the requirement, right? So business analyst will be the responsible person from beginning to end. Okay, so far it is clear to you. Okay, so now let's move ahead. Just give me a second. Now let's move to the another. Now see here, phase wise breakdown with business analyst consultant activity. Again the same thing I have just explained you: discovery, design analysis and gap analysis, configuration, customization, data migration, testing, go live and post go live, right? So now see here, first of all, Now discovery and requirement gathering, what he will do, he will identify, again I am iterating it, understand client's requirement process, then identify pain points and goals, gather requirements of all modules, finance, sales, purchase, inventory, and then conduct stakeholder interview, create business requirement document, process flow diagram, and record fit gap notes. Let me make a note here and then we will move ahead. Okay, so let's do here. In this, take information, finance, sales, purchase, then inventory. Okay, then what it will do, prepare a BRD, right? I am talking about this discovery and requirement gathering. Okay, the very first. Then prepare a data flow diagram, data flow. Okay, and then fit gap notes. Okay, so these are the tasks of the business analyst. Now design and analysis, what it will do in design and analysis. Okay, so second part, that is design. Okay, so what the BA will do, match business needs with NetSuite capability, match needs with NS, or we can say ERP capabilities, right? Then identify gaps where NetSuite does not support directly, that is called gap. Identify gap where NS does not support directly, means that facility is not given. For example, any customized report is there they want, so you have to prepare the saved search. Directly NetSuite will not give you everything according to your requirement. That is called identify the gaps, where is the gap. Then decide on customization and workarounds. Okay, now decide on what, customization and workaround, right? I am talking about this point. Okay, so the business analyst has to decide about this, right? After that, now the BA will communicate with our team, so it will conduct the workshop, fit gap workshop. Fit gap workshops means, for example, the client has given me the requirement that we need one report in which whatever the sales done within the last 1 month should be visible every time. Now this type of report is not available in NetSuite directly, so we will arrange a meeting and then we will explain them, okay, this thing can be done by preparing a saved search, and on the spot we will prepare a saved search and we will show them, okay, is this okay? Then they will say, yeah, that's okay. So we will freeze that saved search, we will make it final. Okay, so that is called in a workshop you have to explain them. Then prepare functional requirement document. After this, the FRD will be prepared, right? Then prioritize the requirement, that which requirement is very mandatory and which requirement you can suggest the alternative solution. Okay, then after that, start mapping business process to NetSuite module. Then mapping of business process with modules, NS module, that is NetSuite module, right? Okay, now this is what in the second part, that is design and gap analysis, is done. The business analyst, it is not the role of business analyst is not just like taking the requirement and putting onto the paper and give it to them. the team. No, that's not. So we have to the business analyst have to see all these things. Now let's talk about the configuration and customization. Okay, now configuration and customization means exactly is set up, as I have told you that configuration means set up the information of the company, set up company preference, chart of accounts, roles, permission, right? So set up company information, COA, that is chart of account, then the vendors, the roles, permission, then the vendor information, customer information, right? All these things. After that, customize forms, workflow and script as needed. Customize the form, workflow and script if needed. See, there are so many things that can be possible with workflow, and there are so many things that can be possible with scripting only. So the importance of workflow and scripting are different. Okay, many people say that okay, where scripting you do not want to write, workflow can be done. No, that is correct, but few things are there where only scripting will work. Okay, so that is why that thing you need to take care of. Okay, then after that what will happen? Consultant task. So we are talking about consultant task. So configuration of the module O2C, right? O2C, P2P, CRM, finance, module configuration. Okay, so the business analyst has to do all these things. Then create custom fields also. Now this is business analyst will not do, this team will do, but business analyst will be the supervisor during this task. Okay, technical task will not be done by the business analyst, only he will supervise the process. Okay, so create the fields, forms, records. Okay, so this is how. And then coordinate with developer and suite script or integrations. If there is any integration, so coordination with the team. Right, so this is what done during the configuration and customization part. Now let's talk about the data migration part. Okay, so data migration, in this data migration what happens? Data migration, opening balance, customer, vendor, item, transactions, everything is done. Okay, fine. Then involves mapping data from old system to NetSuite format. Mapping of data, for example, in legacy system only the customer name, only the name is used, name field is used, but in NetSuite there is a special keyword, that is entity. So entity, that means the name in this the name is used in this legacy system, and but in NetSuite there will be a entity, so name, and then it will be mapped something like this, right, in customer record, right? So this thing is done. Okay, now once you migrate the data, that is the metadata, then involves mapping you have done. Okay, now prepared data template for import. Now prepare data template for import means what? Basically it's a CSV file. In a CSV file you have to prepare one complete template. That means that CSV file must contain all the headers, and that headers will be mapped with the NetSuite. And then once you upload, you have to do upload with 1 or 2 record, and once they are 100% matched, then you have to upload the remaining all 25,000, 50,000 records, whatever, as many records they are having. So this is how you have to do. Then perform the test load and then clean invalid, incomplete data. So definitely if any data is invalid or incomplete, you have to clean that. Then use NetSuite CSV import or suite script based migration. Okay, so this is what the BA, business analyst, has to do all these things. Okay, now let's talk about the testing and validation, right? That is the fifth point, testing and validation. Now we are talking about this point. Okay, now in this testing and validation, what happens? Ensure the system works as per defined requirement. Ensure the system works as per requirement, right? Or the expectation, right? Second, involves functional testing, integration testing, and UAT. Involve the team in all type of testing, that is integrity testing, unit testing, and then the UAT, everything. Then create test scenario, test case script. Okay, now test case scenario, it will be done by BA, right? Test case script, again BA. Then log and fix the bug. Now log and fix the bug will be done by technical team. Then validate report, workflow, calculations. Okay, so this is all the business analyst has to do. So testing and validation is not an easy task, it's a time consuming and also it's a challenging task. Okay, now after this, once you have done everything, testing, validation, this and that, everything, now training and UAT. Now training and UAT, train business user on the system, right? So train business user on system. That means suppose there are 50 employees are there, so you have to ask them, okay, just log in, and it will be done in the sandbox first, right? So just log in and start and do as I ask you to do, right? So you have to do the hand holding training. Okay, you have to do it hand holding training. After that, get official sign off after UAT. Official sign off after UAT, because it was seen in one of my project, that the employees, they were not becoming familiar, or they were not comfortable with the system. Which system? NetSuite. They are again asking that, okay, we will do as per our previous process. No, when NetSuite is implemented, you have to follow. So most of the employees, they are not habitual, or they are not comfortable with the NetSuite. So you have to take the sign off, right? Take sign off. Right after the UAT. So you have to be very careful that after UAT, once you say UAT is done, that means 70% task is done. Now at that time, if any error comes, so you can at least show that, okay, your team has agreed on this. Otherwise the team will refuse that, okay, they have not explained us properly. It might be possible. So, and then take the feedback also from the team. Are you satisfied? Are you familiar? Is there any changes required, or do you need any type of cosmetic change, or do you need any type of form level change? Everything you have to ask, and then you have to take the sign off. That will be our green signal to go ahead. Okay, so in this way we perform this training and UAT. Then go live and post to go live support. Now go live and post go live support, right? So see, make the system live for real-time usage. First of all, you have to make the system live. Post go live means what? Make the system live with production instance. Okay. Then next part, monitor for issues during first few weeks. See, during first few weeks, right? First few weeks means, because when so far when you work on Sandbox, there will be no issue, but when you will work on production and daily new sales orders will be created, so that sales rep, he should not make the mistakes, right? So you have to monitor each and everything, what issues he is facing, right? So first few weeks the business analyst has to take care of it. Support phase include, now see, support phase includes what? Fixing go live bugs. Now for this purpose only, after the go live, they use a ticketing system. Okay, this ticketing system comes into picture after go live. Now once you have done the go live, now whatever the issues are faced, so that will be, for that tickets will be raised. Okay, so the tickets will be raised, and after this ticket raise and ticket resolve and everything, right, ticket resolution, all these things are done. So fix go live bugs first, stabilize the performance. The biggest thing is that stabilize the performance, right? Stabilizing the performance. Then hand holding user for initial transactions. Whenever you make a go live, suppose today is like 24th of July and today itself it becomes go live. Now from tomorrow, that is 25th of July, I have to sit with the sales rep. My one team member will sit with sales rep and he will hand holding him, right? Okay, this is how you enter the data of the first sales order. So that is called hand holding the user, hand holding training to the user. First few transactions, first few SO creations for sales rep, first few SO creation. Then our one team member will sit with the purchase rep, then he will explain, right? So business analyst will monitor all this, whether our team members are working correctly, because many times what happens, your team members might be from different like educational background or different cities. So there should be an understanding between the client and your team member, because technical person will how the process of technical person guiding and the process of the business analyst guide, both are different, right? So you have to take care that whether there should be a proper communication. After that, gradually transition to application support and maintenance. Okay, now gradually once they have done, okay, now we will provide you the application support and maintenance. If anything comes in future, any error comes or any issue come in future, then you can call us, right? So that is called application support and maintenance, that is called ASM, application support and right, ASM. So this is also one type of document. So this document will be signed. Okay, we will provide you the maintenance, application support and maintenance. Okay, so in this way this complete life cycle takes place. Now let's talk about the timing part. Okay, now see, timelines and stakeholder involvement. Okay, now let's see this in depth. Okay, what happens, first of all, you will see the phases. Now in this discovery duration average 1 to 2 weeks, and involved roles are business analyst, subject matter expert, and project manager. Now here it is shown 1 or 2 weeks, but it is not actually 1 or 2 weeks. It takes at least minimum to minimum 1 or 2 months, or complete 1 month, because when there are so many stakeholders, because the company which is implementing NetSuite, definitely its turnaround or turnover is very high. Otherwise a small scale industry will not, mostly not, I am giving you the guarantee, but mostly the high end companies, like where the turnovers are very high, they take this NetSuite, they select for NetSuite that to implement. Okay, otherwise which are small scale industries, their work can be done with Excel sheet also. So this NetSuite will be useful for mid-size industry and a very large size industry. Okay, so in that case definitely 1 month will be taken for discovery, 1 or 2 weeks for a very small project. Okay, now design part, again the same thing. Design part also involves the role of business analyst, functional and technical, because whatever they have demanded, you have to design it according to their requirements. So again it will take 1 or 2 weeks, but it goes up to 1 month. Okay, then it's an average, right? Now configuration, it's a functional and technical team, that takes 2 weeks. That is fine, because in this client involvement is not there, and the team will work according to the requirements. So migration, now migration is an ongoing process. Now look at this, here there is no time duration given, ongoing migration. In this business analyst and tech team is required. Why? Because business analyst will demand to this database administrator of the client, okay, give us the data. Now database administrator of the client side will download the data from the legacy system in the format of CSV, and then he will provide you the CSV format. Okay, so that is why there you can't define the weeks or months. Okay, it depends on the data volume. Testing takes 2 weeks, or max to max 3 to 4 weeks, because here business analyst, quality assurance team, and the client, all three are involved. And as you know that if the business working days are like Monday to Friday, so definitely it takes more than 2-3 weeks. This is just an average, right? It is shown here the average, but it takes a little more than 2 weeks. Then training the UAT. Now training and UAT, it takes 2 weeks. That is fine. In this business analyst and client both are involved. So you can see here business analyst is involved in almost all. Okay, then training UAT, go live and support. So that will be 1 month, and suppose if based on the demand of the company says okay, provide us at least 3 months, so that can be changed. Yesterday only I told you, here whatever we see, there is always a scope of flexibility. Okay, so if go live support, normally we provide 1 month, and if the client say that okay, at least 3 months training is needed, so we can make it up to 3 months. Okay, so that is how the tasks are done. Now see here, final summary and tips. Now NetSuite projects follow a structured implementation path. Yeah, that's correct, structured implementation path. For example, first of all we take the requirement, then we take the requirement, then we analyze them, and then we design, development, testing, post go live, right? All these things are structured, right? BA and functional roles are critical in discovery, testing and training. Now see, BA and functional roles are critical in discovery, testing and training. The reason is that this type of task a technical person can also do, right? So business analyst and functional person, they are not developer, right? So the thinking process is different, right? So BA and functional roles are critical in discovery, testing and training. So business analyst has to be very careful while taking the requirement, right, and then documenting it. The technical developer will only just do the code, right? After keep always keep communication open between client and tech teams. There is one more thing is there. Suppose if I am a business analyst and I communicated with the client and everything written on the paper. Now suppose if client wants to make changes and clients know how to do this, so you should allow your technical person to communicate with the client. That is most important. So that's why it is written, always keep communication open between client and tech teams. So your developer should be free to communicate with the client. Okay, then documentation at every step is essential, right? So documentation at every step, BRD, FRD, standard operating procedures, UAT scripts, everything. So documentation is the biggest task, right? Or it can be called as a biggest skill. Okay, so document is the biggest skill. Okay, then after that, your real success means happy user and stable system. If the system is stable, definitely the user will be happy. I mean to say the client will be happy. So that will be your real success. Otherwise, in most of the projects I have seen that whosoever has implemented NetSuite, he has he has ignored some bug in that. Now the client is searching for another company who can resolve their conflicts or resolve their errors. So your real success is happy user and stable system. We have to give them a stable system that okay, this is how you work. Okay, now here, so guys, this is what we have today studied. Okay, so be a lead requirement gathering, testing and training, functional consultant, configure NetSuite modules. Okay, and communication, documentation and planning are key. Okay, so this is how we see how a complete process of NetSuite ERP implementation takes place. Okay, okay, now we have just today we have seen the theoretical part of NetSuite implementation, how it is done. Now tomorrow we will see the role of business analyst in NetSuite projects, discovery to go live, stepwise how the business analyst will be involved. Okay, that is more interesting. So guys, I suggest you to watch this webinar again, watch this session again. If anything is not clear to you, you can put it onto the comment box. I will resolve it. Okay, and those who are new, they can like and subscribe my channel, and then I will so that you will get the notification. Okay, okay guys, we will meet tomorrow. Let's meet tomorrow with new topic, that is the role of business analyst in NetSuite projects. Okay, and keep watching these videos, and those who have not watched my last previous sessions, they are available on internet, you can go through. Okay, so guys, thank you for attending the webinar. Thank you, see you tomorrow. Okay, thank you.